Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. So Manchester United will sell Paul Pogba in January. Paul Pogba has recently had heart-to-heart talks with Ole Gunnar Solsjaer, and we have lowered his asking price. We will accept as low as £50 million. Now, I think there's a good chance that Paul Pogba could make a return to Juventus. If Paul Pogba does go back to Juventus, then we could get Paulo Dybala as part of the deal. We could possibly get Cristiano Ronaldo as part of the deal. Now, Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, he said there's a good chance that his client could go back to Juventus. And he's basically said that, he wants to leave Manchester United because he is unhappy. He said that he has to leave and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. And he just basically said, that his time at Manchester United is over. Now, Paul Pogba hasn't only been linked with a return to Juventus. There's obviously been rumours of him going to Real Madrid because Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with him. He made an admission earlier on this season saying that one day his dream is to join Real Madrid. PSG, Barcelona and Inter Milan have been in for him before. Now, we obviously want to cash in for Paul Pogba. We don't want to let him go on a free transfer. He said earlier on this season that, he intends on leaving the club on a free transfer. We triggered that 1-year extension on his contract earlier on this season. So he's under contract with Man United until 2022. This is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. As it stands at the moment, he is our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. And he's made over 100 appearances for Man United in all competitions. And he's won 3 trophies at the football club so far. And that was the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. He endured a difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, but so too did all our top players. Some United fans think that Paul Pogba was one of the main reasons why Jose Mourinho got sacked. We had Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. Now, during the last international break, Paul Pogba made quite a few comments saying like this season has been the most difficult period in his career. And he said, playing for France was a breath of fresh air. And he was talking about his Man United struggles this season. But reflecting on them comments, he did receive a lot of criticism. Didier Deschamps was talking a lot about Paul Pogba during the last international break, saying that obviously he cannot be happy at Manchester United for being left out of position and for being left on the bench. And he came out and said like he understands Paul Pogba better than Solsjaer. Paul Pogba didn't start against RB Leipzig, but he did come on, and to his credit, he did make an impact. He started the game against West Ham. That was our last league game. That was his first start for Man United in the Premier League for over a month, and he did score a fantastic goal. He's just come back from an ankle injury not so long ago. Ollie did confirm that ankle injury was totally contrast to the one that he had last season. He's had a good couple of periods at the football club, and that was towards the end of last season. And he did well in that 3-month period when Solsjaer was the interim manager. So, do you think Manchester United should sell Paul Pogba? Jamie Carragher's recently come out and said that Paul Pogba's one of the most overrated players that he has seen in his life. And he says Manchester United need to get rid of him. Now, Ole Gunnar Solsjaer has got the full backing of Ed Woodward, despite our 3-2 loss to RB Leipzig recently. Obviously, we are no longer in the Champions League. Woodward has come out several times to support Ole Gunnar Solsjaer. Obviously, Woodward has been at the football club since 2012. You know, the Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. Now, we've obviously been very, very critical of the board for several years. You know, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. Obviously, none of our managers have been backed enough since Alex Ferguson left. The board's been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years. My own perception, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the right manager for Manchester United. Because he is out of his depth. His decision making is very, very poor. And he's not the manager to lead Manchester United to long-term success. And even some of our players now are losing faith in him, because they believe some of the blame is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager now for almost 2 years. It's nearly now his 2-year anniversary at the football club. And he's under contract with Man United until 2022. I'm very, very sceptical that he will see out his contract at the football club. He's managed over 100 games for Manchester United in all competitions. And this is his second full season at the football club. And I did say, didn't I, this was always going to be a big season for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I said that he's got to exceed his expectations if he is to remain Manchester United manager. Now, I said if we could finish in the top 4 this season, and if we could win a trophy, that would represent a very, very good season for Man United. Then that would give us something to build on. You know, there is a chance we could win a trophy this season. You know, we could win the Carabao Cup. We could win the FA Cup. Can't win the Champions League because we're not in it now. And we certainly won't win the Premier League. It's obviously good that we are making plans for next year. Because obviously next year we are looking to make more signings. You know, there has been a lot of players on our agenda. I think Manchester United need a centre-half and a right winger. They are the 2 priorities. We're obviously going to focus on the outgoings next year as well as the incomings, because there is still deadwood in the squad. I think next year we'll be looking to get rid of Jesse Lingard. Now, I think Jesse Lingard's agent is exploring a move for Lingard in January, I think on loan. His agent's been recently talking with Real Sociedad. Lingard's been linked to a move to Celtic and Rangers. Villa have also been interested in him. Now, Lingard obviously has lost his place in the team, but he's very, very inconsistent anyway, because don't forget there was a period where he didn't score 1 goal or he didn't get an assist in the Premier League for over a year. I think Lingard's into the final 12 months of his current contract, and he's got no intentions of getting his contract extended. Now, I think next year Phil Jones will leave the club. Phil Jones is very, very inconsistent. I think this is now his 10th season at Manchester United. Phil Jones has been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. I think he's currently out with injury at the moment. I think Rojo should go next year. Rojo's never really established himself as a first team regular since he came in. We got him from Sporting Lisbon back in 2014 for just over £16 million. Don't forget last season he was out on loan with Estudiantes. I think Sergio Romero will go next year because Romero's now our third choice goalkeeper. I think there's a good chance Matic could leave next year. I've got reservations about Matic. He's too slow. He hasn't done well in the games he's played in this season, but towards the end of last season enjoyed some good games. Possibly Juan Mata could leave next year. I like Juan Mata, and I think he's enjoyed some good games this season for Man United, but my element of concern about him is that he has lost that yard of pace, and he's now, 33, 34 years of age. He's enjoyed a good 6 years or so at the football club. We paid, around £40 million in from Chelsea back in 2014, and he scored 50 goals for Man United in all competitions. Daniel James, do you think he could go next year? Because he's lost his place in the team and obviously he has been out of form. We got Daniel James in June last year from Swansea in a deal worth £18 million. Martial, he could possibly go next year. I do like Martial, but I just don't think he's been good this season. He has been out of form. He just hasn't been clinical enough. Anthony Martial did start against West Ham, didn't he? Had a chance, didn't convert it. He had a couple of good chances against PSG, didn't convert them. I think he's probably had one good game this season, and that was the Istanbul Başakşehir game at Old Trafford. Don't forget Martial got a 3-match suspension in the Premier League because he got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. But in reality, he shouldn't have been sent off. When we've been playing him recently, he's been playing out wide as Anthony Martial. But a lot last season he was playing centrally. Ollie was the one that gave him that number 9 shirt. But last season Martial was very, very good. He scored 23 goals in 48 games. And he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. He's enjoyed a good 5 years or so at the club. But if we sold him next year, we'd probably get around £30 million for him. We got him in a deal worth like £58 million from Monaco back in 2015. He's currently out with a groin problem at the moment. Hopefully he's going to be available for the City game at the weekend. Obviously a few weeks ago there was rumours of Brandon Williams going out on loan because Brandon Williams is now our third choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles. And there was obviously rumours of Dean Henderson going out on loan earlier on in the season, but Solsjaer said that Dean Henderson wants to stay at Manchester United and he wants to play for the club. And there's a few Manchester United fans that have said, we should put Dean Henderson as number 1 now, and this is the right time. I think at some point he will become our number 1. He has got that experience behind him because he did enjoy 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. He's had loan spells with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury before. Dean Henderson has been part of the club for several years. We got him at the age of 14. And during the summer he signed a 6-year contract with Man United worth 120 grand a week. You know what I mean? But I have taken positives from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure. Like I said, since he became Manchester United manager, he has made some good signings. He has spent over £200 million at the football club and he's enjoyed 4 transfer windows. In the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he brought Bruno Fernandes and Odi Nagalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of this year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Traore. Ahmad Traore should be joining the football club in January. Solsjaer hopes he will obtain a work permit. We've obviously seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in. Ollie did well last season in his first full season. He guided us to 3 semi-finals. He got us qualification for the Champions League, and he also got us third. We've enjoyed some good periods under him as well. We are now unbeaten in our last 4 league games. Last season went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions. We was 14 unbeaten in the Premier League. And I also like the way he has promoted the youth. I do feel sorry for Solskjaer, like I mentioned earlier. He is in a position that he shouldn't be in. The club made a massive mistake by giving him the job permanently, but we're giving the job permanently reflects on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Obviously, there's been quite a lot of Manchester United fans demanding Mauricio Pochettino in to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Pochettino was the favourite to take over at Man United after Jose Mourinho got sacked. Pochettino is a better manager than Ole, like I've already mentioned. Massimiliano Allegri, he's been on our agenda a few times. A few weeks ago, Julian Nagelsmann, he was on our agenda. Reports from Germany recently said that Thomas Tuchel was on our agenda. But like I've said to you, not all of the blame stems from the manager, does it? Like I mentioned earlier on, the board's got to take responsibility. There's players at Manchester United that have obviously got to take responsibility. But in the last 8 years, nothing's changed at Manchester United. We've just been so inconsistent. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson left, and that was David Moyes. He got sacked after 8.5, 9 months. He's enjoyed the shortest tenure at the club. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield in his first season. We've spent over £1 billion on players in the last 8 years. And we've brought around 36 players in since Ferguson left. So people will say, reflecting on the money we've spent, we should be much more of a commanding position than we are in. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won that now for 8 years. Solskjaer said not so long ago that Manchester United can win the Premier League, and he made an admission saying that, the job is not too big for him. But like I said to you, Solskjaer is inheriting a squad that is worth £800 million because there's still a lot of players here from the Jose Mourinho era. There's only a few players here now from the Louis van Gaal era. There's only 1 player here now from the Moyes era. And there's only 2 players here now from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Solskjaer probably will still be Man United manager in the new year. But I don't think he'll be Man United manager until the end of this season. If we do sack him, I think it will be in the new year. We won't sack him at the moment. The main explanation why he's still Manchester United manager is because he's a club legend, and reflects on that, our board have softened their stance on him. Ollie was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance, but my perception on him as a manager is totally comparison. Ollie has not got that proven pedigree as a manager. Now, there's obviously good players at Manchester United, like I've gone through with you. Marcus Rashford, he's a very, very good player. I think there's definitely aspects of his game that have improved. His finishing's improved, he's scoring goals, he gets good runs in behind. And I just think in general he's improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. A few weeks ago, Marcus Rashford turned 23. He's been a United player since the age of 7. And he's been in our senior squad since 2016. So he's been in our senior squad now for a good 4.5 years, is it? He came back from a shoulder problem not so long ago. I think Anthony Martial's good when he wants to be, just hasn't been that good this season. Edison Cavani's good. I think he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. The other week he came off the bench and scored twice against Southampton. Also got an assist. So that changed the complexion of that game. Cavani scored his first goal for the club in our 3-1 win against Everton. And don't forget, he almost scored with his first touch when he came on against Chelsea. I said when we got Edison Cavani, he will be the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Cavani's currently out with a muscle problem at the moment, but I'm hopeful that he's going to be available for the game at the weekend against Man City. Mason Greenwood, I think he's also a good player. He's done well recently, Mason Greenwood. He made an impact against RB Leipzig. He also did quite well against West Ham, got his name on the score sheet. I ain't had much of a perception on Greenwood this season because obviously he's had off-field issues. He's obviously had injuries. At one point he was out with illness, but Ollie's been defending Mason Greenwood a lot this season. At the start of this season, we give him that number 11 shirt. Greenwood's under contract with Man United until 2023. You can play him centrally and play him out on the right wing. I like him on the right wing, but there again, sometimes he can play well centrally, when he's playing alongside Marcus Rashford. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, he's a very, very good player. He's definitely Manchester United's best player, and he's our best signing that we've made since Alex Ferguson retired. Fernandes has been at the football club now for almost a year. He's scored a lot of goals at Manchester United. The vast majority of his goals have come from the penalty spot, and he's also provided assists. But disregarding Bruno Fernandes, I think we'd be in a worse position than we are in. He won Player of the Month for November. He's won that now quite a few times. We paid £47 million for him from Sporting Lisbon back in January. And it did recently say, didn't it, that we were preparing to offer him a new contract worth £200,000 a week, doubling his current wages. Bruno Fernandes created the most chances in the Premier League this season, and he predominantly plays in that number 10 role. Donny van der Beek, he's also a good player that we've got. Donny van der Beek didn't start against RB Leipzig, but he did come on, and as soon as he came on, we reverted to a back four. He did start against West Ham the other week, and that was his second start in the Premier League for Man United. He did start against Southampton. We have been playing him in that deeper role, but that's where he's more effective. Donny van der Beek can play in like 3 different positions. You can put him in number 10, you can play him out wide, but I like him playing in that deeper role. We paid £40 million for him from Ajax. Now, I think Fred's a good player. He's not world class, but he's a good player. He's enjoyed good games this season for Manchester United. He's showed some good attacking intent. I like the way he's got forward. He's broke up the play well. He's played some key passes. Fred's been at the club now for a few years. We paid £47 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. I also think that Alex Telles is a good player. Telles wasn't good against RB Leipzig. He was actually very, very poor. But that was his first poor game at Manchester United. In his other games, he's been consistent, where he's got forward well, he's got in decent positions, he's put good crosses into the box. But Tellez, despite his bad performance against Leipzig, I still think he's going to be a very good signing for Manchester United. We got him for 15.4 million, with add-ons included. Luke Shaw, I think he's good. That's when he's fit. Luke Shaw's just come back from a hamstring problem. That game against RB Leipzig was his first start for Man United since the 3-1 win against Everton. Against Leipzig, though, Luke Shaw was very, very poor. He was exploited far too easily. Luke Shaw's enjoyed a good 6 years or so at the club. We paid around £30 million to him from Southampton back in 2014. I think Anwan Bissaka's good when he wants to be. I think he's enjoyed good games this season for Man United. But he was very poor recently against RB Leipzig. Got to say, that game was his worst game in a Manchester United shirt. Angelino had Bissaka in his pocket. Anwan Bissaka was making too many errors. He lost the ball far too many times. We've got element of concerns about, his lack of attacking intent and his distribution. This is his second season at Man United. We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. David De Gea's good when he wants to be, and he's proven it this season. There's been quite a lot of games where he's been very good this season, where he has made, good saves and that. There's been a couple of games where he really hasn't had much to do. He wasn't good though against RB Leipzig recently. He was at fault for the third goal. But David De Gea is going to remain our number one for this present time. Could even remain our number one for the rest of this season. This is his 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long servant. And David De Gea has made over 500 appearances for us in all competitions. Harry Maguire, now I think he's good. He's obviously not brilliant. He's certainly not worth the £80 million that we paid for him. But Maguire's enjoyed some good games this season. But on the other hand, he's enjoyed some bad games as well. He was poor against Leipzig. My concern about Harry Maguire, he is too slow. And don't forget, he did have early season troubles as well. So yeah, there is good players in our team. There's also players that are poor. Pogba's obviously been poor for us. Yeah, he's done well recently, but in the vast majority of his games, he's been poor. Matic has been poor. James has been poor when he was playing. Lingard was poor when he was playing. Jones was poor when he was playing. So there is a few poor players in our team. So there you go. Like I updated you the other week, Solsjaer was discussing his contract situation at Man United. And he basically said, a new contract is not his priority at the moment. His priority is leading the club to long-term success. And he did say that the team are going places under his management. Solskjaer's more than halfway through now, I think, his 3-year deal at the club. I don't see us extending his contract, to be honest with you. So yeah, so my next video, I'm going to be giving you a preview for the Man United-Man City game. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update for today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.